CAPTCHA problems. So CAPTCHA stands for Completely Automated Public Turing Test to tell computers and humans apart. Bet you didn't know that, did you? So basically, it's implemented to distinguish users and any entity that makes automated requests. So there are several CAPTCHA types, such as visual, oral, arithmetic, and so forth and so on. But the most known ones of these is the visual one. So many times, CAPTCHA is an image that contains a human-readable text or maybe some numbers or recognizable image the user must solve in order to prove he is not a bot. And boy, doesn't it feel good to know that you're not a bot. So CAPTCHA is not in authentication control, but by using a CAPTCHA, it can be a very efficient way to mitigate against the enumeration of attacks and any process that's submitting that can be automated within a web application. So CAPTCHA images don't protect against a pure brute force. They can just put a layer of complexity over the form on which they are added. So that means that you can generally see CAPTCHAs implemented in login, registration, as well as reset and forgot forms. So this will barely protect against account takeover, username enumeration, and fake accounts creation. But let me show you this. So open up Kali and log into BWAP. And from the drop-down menu, open CAPTCHA bypassing. And this is the CAPTCHA-contained authentication form. So this time I'm going to do only high level. So change the level to high. And there's no difference in the view. Okay, so let's see the page source and see if there's anything interesting. So this is the form that contains a CAPTCHA, and the CAPTCHA image is included in an iframe. The source page is a CAPTCHA box, and this page contains the produced CAPTCHA image. Okay, so now open Burp in interception mode, and I will make the browser have a better view of the screen, and now we can enable Foxy Proxy. So now we need to understand the behavior of the form and a CAPTCHA. So there may be an implementation problem here. Okay, so I'm going to enter the right values into input fields, B, bug, and the CAPTCHA text. And, well, the request is in Burp. So forward it. And here's the response. Now let's have a look at the response. It contains a successful login message. Right? So this message comes up when everything is correct. So forward it. Now after we get the response, a CAPTCHA-contained iframe sends the request to get a new CAPTCHA image. And the source of the iframe sends a new request to the image page. And the new image is presented on the page. So this new CAPTCHA image request will always perform the exact same way. So now let's try the wrong login information. Write CAPTCHA text. Forward the request. And now look at what we have. A new message. And this time only the CAPTCHA was true. Okay, so forward it and the rest. And now the true login information and type a wrong CAPTCHA text. And a new message appears. It says incorrect CAPTCHA. And forward the rest. Now this time I'm going to fill in all of the fields with wrong values and forward the request. Let's look at the message that comes back. Incorrect CAPTCHA. So we can understand that it first checks CAPTCHA, then the login information, right? And forward the rest. All right, so now we're ready to shape our attack. So I'm going to perform a replay attack, and I'm going to get a CAPTCHA image, and then I will try further requests with it. So I will assume that I don't know login credentials and created a dictionary file before. And I fill the form with the correct CAPTCHA and send. Now the request is in burp. And before forwarding it, send it to repeater and intruder. Then forward it and look at the response. So the application checks the CAPTCHA, but the credentials fail. So forward it to the browser. Okay, so now we're at the critical point. I'm going to drop this new CAPTCHA request. So there are no more requests after this. Now open the repeater tab and send it again. And the response still says invalid credentials. That means that the CAPTCHA is still valid. So let's prove it one more time with false credentials. And sure enough, still the same. Okay, so now go to the intruder tab. I've already told you about these tabs, right? So go to the positions tab, clear the parameters, and add username and password as parameters. Then the attack type is cluster bomb. And here we have just a 2 payload set, one for username and one for password. Payload set 1 is a simple test. Click to load the word list that we created in a previous lesson and choose it. And do it for the payload set 2 as well. So now open the Options tab. You don't need to change anything here and scroll down to grep match section. Now clear these inputs. Now we need to provide a message to differentiate the successful logins. And that message happens to be here. So copy that. Then add it here. Okay, so give me a second to have a look, see if we missed anything. No, I don't think there's anything that we need to configure anymore. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's start the attack. And the requests start to list in the attack window. Let's wait for it to finish. All right, so our base request is just like that. And the associated response, as you can see. So now let's go to this line, look at the response, and sure enough, we are successfully logged in. Okay, so now let's see, because we can quickly check the code. So let's open up your terminal and view CAPTCHA bypass. It's a whole page. So this line checks the security level. If the level is high or medium, then it will execute the following lines, which compares the CAPTCHA value sent by the user and the value in the session variable CAPTCHA. And as you can see, there is no code to assign a new value to the CAPTCHA variable in session. So you see, this is the main problem. This new value adds in a separate request. And that's what helps us to replay the correct CAPTCHA in the session variable.